Welcome back to the Juno Podcast. Good afternoon, Sharon.
Afternoon, is it?
Nearly.
I had to make you think there. Thank you, Adam.
Lovely for you to be here again.
Grazie.
Today, I suppose we are joined by fundamentally someone who's shifted an entire category, the co-founder of and current founder of Moxie, fierce advocate for women's health, award-winning entrepreneur, and the incredible Mia Klitsas. How are you?
I'm good. What an intro.
And also, I will jump in and say personal friend as well. Total legend. Obviously built a brand that didn't just sell product, it changed the conversation. Your founder journey is an incredible one, and we're here today to probably dig into a little bit of those types of things.
So buckle up. This is going to be a good one, and we're incredibly excited to have you on board, Mia. So welcome and thank you.
Thank you. I'd better deliver after that. Jeez.
So how did it all start? What was the, give us the 5 minutes of what happened.
The abridged version.
Correct.
Wow. Well, a very long time ago, 21-year-old Mia.
Wow.
What? Wow. Gee, what a way to start. Wow. Is that like it was a long time ago?
No, it's not a long time. It's more than 21 because you know how many people, not many people go out and launch something when they're 21.
Do you know what? I feel like nowadays they do. I'm hearing a lot more, a lot more young entrepreneurs are coming up with ideas and executing them, which honestly makes me so excited because I feel like we are really fostering a culture of entrepreneurship, which is amazing. You're also correct in saying that perhaps then when I started, there weren't many of us, or I perhaps wasn't aware of them, or they weren't necessarily as forward-facing. I did feel a little bit alone. There were also a lot of naysayers, people saying, what are you thinking? Just go and get a job. Don't be crazy. But yeah, I was interning in a marketing role whilst I was studying at uni, and I was working in new product development, and I essentially had a crazy idea with my then business partner. Well, actually my then colleague who became my business partner, and the idea was to put tampons in tins so that they wouldn't roll around in my handbag. It was a personal pain point which a lot of us experienced as women, and a lot of us probably still do. And I think a lot of us experience pain points in our lives, and we often think that could be improved, could be improved. I wished this existed. And most times we don't act on those things.
Most people don't act on it,
Yeah, 21-year-old me was just like, I'm going to give this a go. And so I made a little mock-up of a tampon tin out of a deodorant can, painted with a Posca pen, and created a prototype. And I mean, this is the very abridged version. Ordered a container worth of said
As you do
prototype,
when you're 21.
As you do, and took the idea to major retailer, being Woolworths, and the rest is kind of history. I mean, there's 20 years of history in there, but that's
we're going to unpack that.
We'll get there. But that's how it started. It started with the seed of an idea that stemmed from a pain point. And
do you sort of get the chance now to sort of look back and go, wow, that's just, 20 years in a business is an incredible. Most businesses obviously don't even last a quarter of that. But do you get a chance? Because when we talk to business owners and stuff, sometimes they don't get a chance because they're so busy doing the doing. And you've gone through some incredible periods of the world changing, really. But when you're sitting here now, do you get a chance to go back and go, shit, that was crazy, or what a great journey, or we've come so far?
Yeah, there's been a lot of those moments, and I've often had to really pause and stop myself and say, this is one of those moments, whether it's good or bad. At the time it's been bad, but I've again really had to stop myself and say, this is one of those moments that I'm going to learn from, and I just know it. I know that I'm going to look back and remember how shitty this was and say there was a lesson here, and I'm going to look back and go, remember that shitty time? It all turned out fine. It's going to be fine. So whether it's good and bad, I think there's lessons in everything. But there's been some really phenomenal moments. Like I remember, again, this is, perhaps a story for another day, but
And story for today.
And it is a phenomenal story, and it's one of those, as cliched as it sounds, life-changing moments. But, this business took me to Uganda, I never, ever thought I would be there. And it was a period poverty project that we created ourselves. And I remember this so, so clearly. It was Jeff and I, who, again, was my business partner. We're no longer in business together, but we're still besties. And I remember we were sitting on a log watching a group of girls play netball, and we turned to each other. The sun was setting. It was so picturesque. The sun was setting. These girls were playing netball. We had just done a heap of donations to girls in need of period care, and we looked at each other and we said, how the fuck did we get here?
You've just sent shivers down my spine when you're describing that.
Excuse the language, but it was so, it just,
surreal?
Had to be said.
Crazy.
It was the most surreal moment.
Wow.
And that was one of those moments, and I will never, ever, ever forget it. And almost literally like a movie, someone captured that moment on camera, and we have a photo of us sitting on that log.
It's incredible.
So
cool.
It's really great.
Yeah, we often talk to business owners about remembering the milestones, and not even milestones, but moments in time that they're not the big fanfare, like a photo like that, and you go, wow, you reflect on that and you go, that's probably a pivotal time in the business journey.
It really was, because it just reminded me, and I tell this to people, it reminded me that to make change in life or in business, you don't have to be big or have huge resources. And, at the time the business wasn't big, but we saw an opportunity, and we felt, I guess, a sense of responsibility to support where we could. And so we just did. And it felt right, and it was right. And I think that was the lesson, that, we could come back to Australia and show people that you don't have to be a big business. Even as an individual, you can make change with your daily choices. And, that's really stayed with me. That was over 10 years ago now, and that's really, really stayed with me. And I remember all of those experiences, and I've learnt from them, and I hope that I can share those with others and they can learn from them. So, it's those moments that aren't necessarily grand or anything like that, but I think they do have a domino effect in a lot of ways.
I think that it's not always, it's the non-grand moments, right? It's the
For
little things
sure.
that, and we were talking about, Sharon and I were talking about this last week, which is around, things that for me, I sit back and I go, wow, they mean nothing to other people, but they mean everything to me. And it's so funny because they're things that I don't necessarily share that much, because people wouldn't understand, because it's such an individual thing. And it's funny because I look back and I go, you see the time of Instagram and Facebook and clips, and everyone's doing wonderful things and everyone's amazing and everyone's killing it, and it's just, the world's unbelievable. When you sort of dig down a little bit, it's like, well, hang on a minute. There's some tough times, and there's some really great times that a lot of people don't see. So it's incredible that you caught that on a picture.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a real high, right? When you have that photo, is there an opposite moment of that's been captured like that, where it's not so high?
Like captured on film?
Well, not necessarily captured on film, but captured in your mind that goes, that was the opposite actually, and that's when I felt either times were really tough or that was really hard.
There are honestly so many.
Yeah.
There really are, and I don't sugarcoat them. When people ask me, I don't want to say I'm very quick to say that business is really hard, but business is really freaking hard. I don't glamorize it. I don't. And I think especially when young students, I've done some mentoring work with schools and startups, and I'm very clear about the non-glamorization of being a business owner and a founder. Business is tough day to day. It really throws you around. I often think of it like a heart rate monitor, or if you were on a life support machine, that's like what business is being like, right? It's that machine's like going up and down. That heart rate, what do you call it? That thingy's going up and down, right? Because
the ECG or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because you're living. It's going up and down. There's peaks and troughs. That's business. There's going to be peaks. There's going to be troughs. I think probably something that springs to mind like immediately is the GFC. That was really tough.
Yeah.
COVID was really tough.
Yeah.
When we first exported, we went straight into the UK because we had a retailer that saw us in Australia. They wanted to take us on and we weren't ready, realistically. The business was fresh. We had gone into all major retailers in Australia very quickly and a UK retailer wanted to take us on and we said, we're not ready. And they said, well, if you don't launch with us, we'll just do like a home brand version of our own. And so we said, okay, we'll launch with you. Anyway, long story short, bad idea. We worked with a warehouse at the time who was holding like $500,000 worth of our stock. Long story short, they went into liquidation without telling us, lost, in inverted commas, our stock, nearly sank our entire business. That was one of those moments that I hope no one caught on camera. But, that is very that I'm still twitching from that. So, yeah, there's been a lot of those moments. Like, honestly, business, it throws you around and it throws you curveballs that you just have to
before you
deal with.
The next one, I'm just jumping in, yeah? So hold that thought. In those moments, Mia, was there a time that you go, I don't know that I can keep going?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I feel like people that tell you, that say, no, you just, pick yourself up and what a load of crap. Sorry. I mean, I don't know.
God,
Look,
I think I love you, Mia.
Yeah, you have those moments where you're like, why? Like, why am I doing this? Yep. Is it worth it? I just think they're natural thought processes to have where you question your choices in life and you ask yourself, should I have
taken a job with somebody?
Taken another job. Should I go and get another job? Should I, you know what, there are days where I still have these. Yeah. I still have these thought processes sometimes. They're only natural. But look, ultimately, obviously 20 years later, I've obviously come back to this wonderful business that I love. I do love it. No, I do. I really do. But you do have those moments for sure.
Yeah.
I think there's this, and we had a chat about this the other day. There's a founder, right? And then and I can't remember the exact word you used. You said, I think you used extended founder or long-term founder or something like that. And I was like,
me?
Yeah.
Oh, did I? Gosh.
And I was like, and I thought about that and I'm like, that's such an interesting, the whole word founder is glamorized, I would say. And then you get to a point where there's this excitement, you've grown something, it's hard, you've got it to somewhere, and then there's a continuation of that. Now, some businesses sell, some businesses choose to continue on. And then I go, it's not really founder anymore, it's a business and you're operating a business. And I suppose as you sort of keep growing and you keep going through that journey, you get all these different challenges and you get this huge track record that kind of goes behind you. But inevitably you sort of get to this point where it's like, what's next? And for you, is that, what is that point that's what's next and the excitement that comes with that? Because when I look at this whole founder journey, it's like this, right?
Yeah.
It kind of keeps going up and down and you need something, it's not fresh or new, but you've got to generate that excitement again to drive it forward. True. So I go, what's kind of the sort of the vision and the little bits and pieces that you're looking at that's going to give the next up bit, and that's because that's exciting for all the customers, right, as well.
Yeah, totally. Well, I can't sit still, which a lot of people accuse me of that. So late last year we did a full rebrand, probably the most let's call it aggressive rebrand we've ever done. And when I first embarked on this, people thought, oh, great, you'll just, tweak things a little, which is what people normally do over time. They just alter their packaging a little bit or they just update their logo ever so slightly. So if you look at most brands on the shelves, say you looked at a brand's packaging from 1 year to the next, but literally like over an extended period of time, that packaging would have changed, but it's changed ever so slightly over that period of time that you don't notice. well, what does Mia do? Mia literally goes from 0 to hero overnight rather than those like little nuanced changes. I was like, no, we're just going to throw everything out. Like literally let's throw everything out and start again. It was almost like a complete relaunch because why not? And I figured that the people that love the brand and love the product for what it is will stick with it.
Yeah.
And sure, we're going to upset some people. But again, I think the people that appreciate it for what it is will stick by us, and we may have some explaining to do, but we did it. We changed our logo, we changed our colours, we brought back some elements from the history of the brand, like our stripes, which were on the original tins, which I think a lot of the original Moxie crew really appreciated.
Yeah.
But it was a huge job. I forgot how much our logo appeared on absolutely everything. So it was a huge job. But myself and a creative director executed it in 3 months.
Wow.
Which was kind of hectic.
What gives you the courage to actually do that?
I think I'm just that person.
Yeah.
I
Is
think
that
I'm
innate?
just I think it is, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think it's courage. I think there's probably maybe part stupidity. I think it takes a little bit of crazy to do stuff like that. It was a long time coming, though. We probably should have done it sooner. Something like this. I mean, I'm using the rebrand as a specific example, I guess. But there are other things like this where I'm just like, you know what? Don't overthink it. Just do it. Because I can also be a procrastinator. And so I think sometimes it's like, just make the decision, just do it. And what's the worst that can happen? Like, really, what's the worst that can happen? So I do often like to think of what I call like the plan Z.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, if everything goes to absolute shit, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And I think of that worst case scenario, and if I come up with a plan for that and I'm okay with that plan, even if I'm like, maybe it makes you a little bit uncomfortable. But if you're okay with it, then let's go for it. If that's the worst that's going to happen, the reality is that you probably are not going to have to execute that plan Z.
Yeah.
The reality will fall somewhere in between the best case scenario and the plan Z. So everything's fine here. And the rebrand went great. So
it's amazing.
I was going to say,
I think we're okay.
I'm sure that there are people telling you otherwise.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not such a good idea.
All the time.
So I mean, how do you handle that? Is that noise for you, or do you listen, engage, and how does that work?
Or do you just not engage?
You know me well, Adam. So
I probably know the answer to this question, but I won't answer.
Adam knows me well. I'd almost love for you to answer this question, Adam.
No chance. It's a loaded. That's a loaded.
Why don't I try?
I think there's your answer, everyone. Look, it can be. I think it depends. It depends where that noise is coming from.
And who it is.
And who it is, exactly. Yeah. I think, look, I respect a lot of people's, I'm not going to say opinions, because I think opinions are everywhere and everyone has one.
Yeah.
I value experiences more so. So people that have been there and done it, opinions are like, they're everywhere. And, respectfully, I know my brand really well. I know my consumer really well. We have a phenomenal relationship with our audience, and I feel like I've got a good handle on it. So I really do trust my gut a lot.
I was going to ask that next question. So I mean, we often talk to business owners around when does that gut instinct sort of kick in, and when should you rely upon it? It's often business owners can struggle with that. So for you, there is a natural reliance on the gut.
Very much so.
Right.
Yeah. I think things like metrics and numbers, they are black and white. You sort of can't argue with things like that. But I think otherwise, anything that's, emotive, emotional, gut feel is, I think, so incredibly important. We're energetic beings, and I think if we're not relying on that, if we're not relying on listening and, I think it's listening, it's communicating, then what are we doing, really, We're not robots, not yet anyway.
Not yet.
It's coming.
It's coming.
You brought that up, and it leads into another. This whole emotional versus commercial decisions that you make for businesses. And there's an element of, doing things because everyone else is doing them. And obviously noticed some big news on your Instagram, I think it was, or your TikTok, that you've decided to sort of shut down your online store. And I mean it. I think that probably works pretty perfectly into that question. Talk us through. That's a big decision, right? And some people in the industry, I'm sure, would say that's crazy. But really, you're the person. You know all the facts. Let us know why, and how, and those kind of things.
Yeah. Also, a great decision.
Yep.
One of the best decisions ever, probably for right now.
Yep.
So we, excuse me. We have run our e-com side of the business for, my goodness, probably at least 15 of the 20 years that we've had the business.
Yeah.
And it's never sort of not been challenging in various ways. So we've run things from a online subscription service to just regular e-com, selling individual products, to selling first period kits, and all these things sound like great ideas. And people often come to us and say, have you thought of a subscription? Have you thought of doing refill packs? Have you thought of, we've done all of those things. And they do sound like great ideas just, off the bat. The issues are that realistically we're selling products that retail for a few dollars. When I say a few dollars, $4, $5, $6 products.
Yeah.
The margins are quite slim to begin with. Postage costs are high. Running an online store just comes with its own costs. We also then realistically have to do Google advertising, Facebook advertising to bring some of those customers in. There are other costs associated with, just resourcing, picking, packing, warehousing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there are just costs involved with running that store. And those costs keep increasing. And, realistically, it's not an enormous part of the business. This is the sort of product that people tend to buy at the supermarket. It's the main place. Sharon's nodding. It's the main place that women purchase these products.
On behalf of
Adam's nodding.
You've
purchased a few in your time. The reality is for this kind of product, it's an FMCG product. It's a grab and go purchase. It's still a grudge purchase in that you buy it when you need it. Some people do stock up. Some people do like to have it in advance so that they don't run out. But the majority of the market just buy it when they need it. And so the thing with online is that, to buy one packet and then to have to pay postage is it's a whole thing. Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't afford to absorb the postage cost because we would essentially be losing money. There's all these little nuances that just make it so challenging to essentially A, make money from it, B, not charge the customer an absolute fortune for a pack of tampons. So really, it just makes it really difficult for us to provide the best value possible to the consumer. And that's always been our aim, is to provide accessibly priced, amazing quality period care for the customer. And it's just really difficult to do that on e-com. So we decided to focus on retail and put all of our efforts there and just see what happens. It's not necessarily forever, but it's for now. The website will still operate. Our website gets a crazy amount of hits because period education, free period education is an enormous part of what we do. Our TikTok is hectic. If I've seen that.
I've went through it, watched it with Kiri.
Yeah, so we've just
getting ready for Sophia.
Wow. Well, and these convos start young, which as they should. We've just hit 1.4 million followers on TikTok.
Crazy. Congratulations.
And thank you. And we're really proud of that. We work with an amazing team of experts. So the website will still operate for free period info, but you just won't be able to shop from there.
Yep.
And I think, commercially it's a great decision. I think for our consumers it's a great decision because we can continue to provide great value at the retail level. We couldn't continue to do that online without increasing the prices, and we just absolutely do not want to do that. So that's what drove the decision.
And I suppose, one of those things, and we again see this a lot in businesses, is when your focus has to be spread over all the things that you do, right?
Yeah.
And so if you make a decision, and I'm sure that wasn't, it may have been a really easy decision, but it would have taken a lot of thought process.
It did, yeah.
once that sort of goes, then you can allow, and it's actually more value for the customers, right? Because then you can actually focus more of your time and your efforts on the majority of the customers. And that's, I mean, it's a somewhat silver lining, and I'm an eternal optimist, as Shan would say. But, what people don't see is that element of it. They go, shutting down the online store, it's crazy, blah, blah, blah. But, the reality is that commercial decision, great decision. Now you can focus on adding even more value to your customers that sort of purchase the majority of your products. And that's what I think a lot of customers and other people and the naysayers even, they don't understand that. And that's
they only see one side of the story, don't they?
And it's hard for them to see other sides of the story.
Yeah. And so actually I pretty much, in a more abridged version, told this exact story on Instagram. Well, it's not a story, it was the truth.
Yeah.
And posted a video about it yesterday in full transparency for the consumer, just to say that this is why we have closed the store.
Yeah.
Because transparency is important, but just so that they understand that it really was not just about us, but it's about you. We want to be able to deliver the best possible product at the best possible price to you.
Yep.
And for us to do that, we have to close the store.
Yep.
You can still find us. Don't worry, we're not shutting down. I think that was the big panic, is that people just saw we're closing and they're like, no, but I loved your product. I'm like, we're not going anywhere. It's fine. You just can't shop us online. But yeah, it was the right decision, as I said, for now.
Yep.
And I think nothing's truly forever.
I say that all the time. Yeah. Never say never.
Never say never. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I was just thinking when Adam was talking a little bit before about, the time that you've led the business. Do you look back at the 21-year-old young woman that started Moxie and have advice for her?
Oh, gosh, a lot. I'd be like, leave the eyebrows alone.
You just recently seen a photo.
Yeah, I found my old photo. It's a photo of me holding the tin out to camera, and I can tell what year it is just by the condition of my eyebrows. Leave the eyebrows alone. Anyone listening, don't touch them. Everything comes back. Yeah. Well, except the eyebrows, they don't grow back. But
I need to see that photo now.
Yeah, no, I need to bury that.
And burn it.
Burn it. Digital copies of everything everywhere. So much advice. The first thing I would say is that, just relax. You don't have to have everything figured out immediately.
Yeah.
And I would probably say that to anyone starting out in biz, and not as an opinion, but as experience.
Yeah.
It's okay. Just you do learn as you go. And honestly, even 20 years in, still learning as I go. I call myself the 20-year-old startup because it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm still going. And I guess further to your point earlier, Adam, about sort of being this I can't remember what I said. I did say something. I don't know what word I used. Long-term founder. It's something like that. It's like, yeah. I don't want to say vintage, but that's how it feels. I think something.
You can't say that around me, Mia. Okay.
No, I think something becomes.
I can say vintage. No one else in this room can say that.
But I think if something officially becomes vintage after 20 years.
Does it really? Is that actually?
I think that's the definition.
Is that like a definition?
Of vintage. Oh, yeah, wow. I think it is. After 20 years, it becomes vintage.
Oh God.
Anyway,
let's not
go there.
Let's bury that with the eyebrows.
Bury that with the eyebrows, exactly.
I'm just depressed now.
Yeah, sorry, Sharon. I wasn't looking at you, Sharon, when I said that. Yeah, gosh, what other advice would I have?
Because people often say, if I look back at my younger self, what would I tell them? There's, they do some stuff at the kids' school where they put that time.
Time capsule.
Right. And they talk to, when they open it, they go, wow, this is what I told myself. I mean, we're talking 4 or 5 years then, but just be interested to go, what would you tell yourself now?
Yeah.
You think about all that you learn along the way. I'm sure that there are things that you would do differently if you had the hindsight.
I wonder if I would though.
Well, and maybe not.
I don't know.
It's hard to judge, right? Because you've learned what you've learned. How do you look back and say I learned that?
It's that whole butterfly effect. I think of that movie, The Butterfly Effect. You know the one with
who's in that?
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
It was like my 90s. Adam's laughing.
Your crush.
No, it wasn't my 90s crush. It was like we watched that film on repeat.
Oh, really?
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember it. I can't.
And literally, it's like
what it's about. Though.
I'm not going to ruin it for. It's actually a great film,
Yeah.
but it's that whole, thing where if you change one thing. So in the film, he
impact,
goes back. It's all about, the love of his life, and he misses out. So he goes back and he changes one thing to try and change the course of his life to be with her. But then other things change and it ruins his life in different ways.
Is it actually called the butterfly effect?
It's called the butterfly effect.
That like sliding doors moment where it takes one direction.
Oh, the film or in real life?
No,
both.
in real life.
Okay, both.
Oh, really?
The film is called the butterfly effect.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, it's called the butterfly effect. Yeah.
Anyway.
So it's that. Like if I had changed, if I go back and change something, would that change other things?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like maybe I sort of part of me like believes that maybe things were all meant to happen the way they were meant to happen.
Yeah.
To just end up where I was and to end up wherever I'm meant to end up, and maybe I wouldn't have ended up on the log in Uganda. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I just like there were things where I'm just like, well, this is shitty and I hate being here right now. Not here. This is great. But
thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
We can cut that.
But there's been times where I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
Why me? Why me? We all have those moments.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, there's lessons in all of it, right?
Thank you for tuning in for part 1 with the beautiful Mia from Moxie. Should we have a little bit of a high five?
Can't wait for part 2, so stay tuned and we'll see you on part 2.